Hey folks, Alan Saunders, Brendan Howe here, wrapping up Pittsburgh Steelers Minicamp 2025 at UPMC Rooney Sports Complex, the third and final practice session of the week. Just finished. Steelers actually went long. Usually it's like an early day, get out of here. There's a bunch of guys scrambling around in the locker room, getting ready for their flight out of town right now. But Brendan, we wrap up the 3 days. Mike Tomlin spoke after practice. No major injuries that he expects to linger through training camp or impact the team's participation in training camp. There's a handful of guys who weren't full participants this week, but I don't think anything that anybody's super concerned about that. You always like to see. Also gave a brief update about TJ Watt, said he thinks both sides want to get a deal done. That usually is a good sign, but didn't have a time frame for doing so. So we'll see whether TJ Watt will be back. I also expect the next time the Steelers get back together in practice, number 8 will be the starting quarterback, not Mason Rudolph as he was today, but still not much for Aaron Rodgers. In fact, nothing at all in terms of team participation, just doing individuals. What do you wrap up your takeaways here from the final training minicamp session?
So I spent a lot of time watching defensive line today. Really looking at Cam Hayward. Like, he leads the group with YA and Derek there. But I noticed just in the drills, he's always at the front of the line. Obviously, he's a captain for a reason. His footwork is so quick for a defensive tackle. You can see why he's still successful in this league. I talked to Derek afterwards, asked if there's anything that surprised him about Cam. Somehow, nothing surprises him. I guess that kind of comes with the territory of still being around and being an All-Pro last season. So that was the biggest thing for me, kind of watching them. We talked to multiple guys afterwards, Jack Sawyer, who Cam talked last week about, or earlier this week, I think, about Derek and his situation coming in and being the starter, kind of not having the time to sit behind guys. Jack gets to do that, and he's excited to do that. He spoke very highly of the guys in front of him. He's excited for TJ to come. So on the defensive side, that's kind of what stood out to me.
Yeah, I talked to somebody who was in that position last year and now is no longer. Peyton Wilson, behind Landon Roberts last year, did play a lot on third down, but is really looking to prove that he can be that every down linebacker. The Steelers did a little bit of team run today, which they don't usually do without pads on, but he was sticking his nose in there. I think he has a chip on his shoulder, not in a way that he's upset about anything, but I think he wants to show people, to prove that he can be a 3-down linebacker. I think he's going to get the opportunity to do that. Obviously, they've got Cole Holcomb, they've got Malik Harrison. There are people there that can step up and fill that role if he's not able to, but I kind of get the feeling the Steelers would love for Peyton Wilson to step up and say, hey, he can do the pass downs, we know that, but yeah, he can be a run stopper too. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, training camp, the big test of that. Another guy I talked to, Logan Lee, someone I get asked about a good bit. Missed all of last season with that injury. I think it was a calf. Back, ready to go. And I said, you have to wait a long time to get back to practice, and then you get there and it's this, which is not really football. And he said, yeah, there's some things I can show, especially with the pass rush. He had a reputation coming out of Iowa, being more of a run-stuffing guy. So he feels like he still had some stuff he can show. But, yeah, to really prove that he's healthy, he's back, he's ready to go, it's going to have to be training camp. But he does say he feels a lot better a year into it in terms of knowing the playbook, knowing the expectations, and how to go about navigating a pro season. Feels like he's ready to roll.
Yeah, someone else that hasn't really seen much of the professional level is Will Howard. Talked to him, and it seems like Will Howard has talked more about Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. I asked him about DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers today, more than he has himself this week. So he hasn't really had to talk too much about himself. He said that his main memory of Aaron Rodgers is seeing him win Super Bowl 45. I also remember that very vividly for different reasons. I was 6th grade, kind of hurt my feelings. But he said that, and he said DK sticks out not just with his stature, but he sticks around, and he catches passes after, or he'll do this, he'll do whatever Will asked him. And for him to stick around for a rookie quarterback, that really is something big to Will. Like, that's kind of the first thing you mentioned about him.
Yeah, I don't know if things are going to work out with Will Howard, but I think the Steelers have a pretty good sort of atmosphere around him for his development. I think that's been pretty clear these 3 days of minicamp. That's pretty much all I got. I'm looking forward to a few weeks off, and then, man, training camp is going to be here before you know it. Really excited about another year out at St. Vincent College. So, make sure you stay tuned for all that. Thank you so much for listening and watching to these the last 3 weeks, and we'll take a little break. Still, of course, Steelers Morning Rush, Steelers Afternoon Drive, lots of stuff going on the YouTube channel. So, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. For Ed Thompson, Brendan Howe, thanks for watching all of these during OTAs and minicamp, and we'll see you next time.